order and decorum. If you have a question, the mayor and Board of Alderman may of course provide an immediate response. However, the mayor and Board of Alderman may also provide no response or response at a later time as they deem appropriate.
Understood. I'll try not to take the full 5 minutes. I wish to make some comments on agenda item 6D. It's stated on the agenda as ordinance amending chapter 125, personnel policy.
Okay.
Title, it's like Title 1 Government Code, chapter 125, personnel policy, section 125.280, political activity. And I would provide the context that I don't have the benefit of knowing when that agenda item comes before you, what additional information will be offered or what discussion there will be. And I also won't have the opportunity at that point in time to provide input. So I wanted to take this moment to make a few comments. I'd like to start by reading the full text of that policy. It states that city employees shall not be appointed or retained on the basis of political activities. No city employee shall actively advocate or oppose the candidacy of any individual for nomination or election to any city office. However, employees may participate in political affairs at other levels of government, provided that such participation does not adversely affect their performance as a city employee. Employees are expected to exercise their right to vote in city elections, but shall not engage in nor participate in any other way in City of Carl Junction elections. Failure to comply with this section shall be grounds for immediate dismissal. And I want to make very clear that the intent of my comment is to not make any allegation of a violation in regard to that policy, nor would I suggest that if any city employee were found to have violated that policy in regard to a past election, that they should be dismissed from their position. The point that I would offer is that I believe that just 2 weeks after a contested election, that it would be ill-advised for the board to repeal that policy. As far as I can tell, there's not been consideration by committee or recommendation in regard to it. And so, Alderman, what I would advocate for is that you either reject that ordinance outright, or at the least that you table it until it's had time for a proper committee review and the possibility of an actual amendment rather than repeal of the full section. Thank you, and I yield to the
Yes, Steve, you want to address why this was on the agenda? Because it violates state law the way we have it now.
I can. It's pretty quick. Not only does it violate state law to have that ordinance in there, it's also a violation of Amendment 1 of the Constitution. Employees have a right to political activity and a political voice, and that has been proven in numerous court cases. So that's why it's being taken out.
Gotcha. It was brought up by the time that we discovered that was a problem. Mr. Talley notified us of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Talk public forum. No more public forum? Very well then, we'll move right along to ordinances. First is ordinance amending chapter 110, Mayor, Board of Alderman, board meetings, chapter 110.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
This by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer. To put this ordinance on first reading by title only, will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending the municipal code of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri by amending Title I Government Code, Chapter 110, Mayor, Board of Alderman board meetings by adding new Article 7, Code of Ethics for elected officials to establish a Code of Ethics for elected officials.
Discussion. Yes.
First of all, I caught a couple of things today, and I don't know if they've been corrected or if they can be corrected. One was just a grammatical error. I think we had a typo in one of them, so I don't know that that's going to affect anything. I did have a question. There's 3 different sections, 110-505, 110-560, and 110-600, where it also refers to, it's got elected officials, members of boards and commissions. I know that the 110 is specifically pertains to the elected officials. So is the code committee going to consider doing something with the code as far as appointed officials? Because the board and the commission, like board members and commission members, are appointed and not elected. So I agree with all of the code. It was just if that doesn't fall under them because they're not elected members, I didn't know if we needed to do it. And then there is a section in there, 110,595, I believe it is, that talks about candidates for office and elected need to sign that they are in receipt of the code. Is that something that we will be providing, like when candidates come in to sign up? Because I think they need to know what the code is to know that they're able to comply with that code before they maybe get on the ballot and get elected and then realize there is some kind of conflict.
For 110,595, elected officials, we already do our conflict of interest policy and ordinance every year. It is not, it's not one that they have to sign. It's an ordinance that they have to abide by.
We do have something that they sign saying that they are not in violation, but
Yeah,
we can provide this code of ethics as well when someone signs up to be a candidate, so that they're given it when they sign it. That's not a problem.
I think it would be something good to put in the packet.
Well, this says we have to certify, have a statement certified and we read it and understand it.
yeah. So that would be like our personnel handbook. You know, employees have to sign that when they receive it, saying that they've received it. We keep a copy of it. This would be the same thing, that it would be, received a copy of it and their signature.
And it also says, and they
Yeah.
also read it and understand it.
Yes.
And I think.
So they can't do it when they receive it.
No, but
They
I
got-
just,
They gotta do it.
yeah, I
afterward.
just think it would be maybe something good we put in the candidate packets so that they know ahead of time
Right.
what they're committing to.
As far as the other one goes, like in 505, that statement of responsibility of public office or of a public official is I don't want to say generic, but it's a general statement about if you are a member of, or if you are a public official, your concern is the common good of the citizens.
Yeah.
It's not pointed at, it says public officials because a public official is not only you guys, but it's us too, staff, and we're all part of that. But you guys don't have a personnel handbook like we do that we have to follow by. It doesn't, nowhere in there, and Mr. Talley had me take out the portion where it talked about the appointed officials. He's the only one that could answer that, and I'm assuming it was because you could create, by having appointed officials and P&Z members, all of those, you could create a system there by having them in there that could be unwieldy and extremely controversial by having the appointed officials in there. He was, I don't want to say afraid, he was concerned about the enforcement and the disciplinary action responsible on the appointed officials section of it. As you know, Mr. Talley is not here. He is with his brother in California, who has been put on hospice.
That's,
So,
yeah, that was the only,
any further discussion?
I guess I would just ask, do we need to table this until he's here to clarify that?
That's up to you guys. You betcha.
I would think we could go ahead and pass, I mean, and then if we did even need to pass another ordinance
We can amend it.
specifically for them later or something, but
It can be amended.
Yeah, you could get, I could probably find from other cities a code of ethics for appointed officials, separate from elected officials. That won't be a problem.
Yeah, it's just,
Personally, I support this one, like you say, as it is, and then if we need to go in later and do some housekeeping and make sure that we pass, or at least look if we need to pass something on.
Two things I need to look at on the appointed officials for planning and zoning, Board of Adjustments, and the Board of Appeals. They have a, what do you want to call it? They have a document that they work off of as their, they have bylaws that they work off of. And I'll have to look at that too to see if maybe there's something already in there.
okay.
And if not, then we can amend their bylaws in those commission meetings. Or, you know, then we could put in code also.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
Oh,
I have a question, I guess,
Yeah.
on the last section, section 110-600, compliance and enforcement. So section D, the Board of Alderman should make a final determination, and then with a majority vote of all members, possible removal of the governing board. So as this says, do not conflict with Missouri statutes. So I don't know what this Missouri statute is that would basically give us the power to remove one
You
another.
can, yes. And that's the way it's written in our code also.
That it? Anything else?
Make a motion, we put it on second reading by title only.
second,
Right, motion by Roger Spencer, second by Don Allen, put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending the municipal code of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri by amending Title I Government Code, Chapter 110, Mayor, Board of Alderman Board Meetings by adding new Article 7, Code of Ethics for Elected Officials, to establish a code of ethics for elected officials.
Any further discussion?
I move we put this ordinance on final passage by title only.
Motion by Holly Levine, second by Rick Flynn, put this ordinance on final passage. It's a handbook, go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative, please vote electronically. With 2 absent. Looks like 6 in the affirmative and 2 absent. 6 yeses, and it's ordinance number.
2319.
Thank you. Next is an ordinance amending the 2023 fiscal year budget.
we will put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by LaDon Allen, second by Holly Levine, put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending the PD, Waterworks, WWTP, GEO bond, and capital improvement funds for the fiscal year 2023.
Discussion? You all got the budget last week? Anything you find wrong in it? Need to change?
This balances our old budget. We do it every year because some categories we don't spend in and some we overspend in. So this is our compliance with the state auditor and state law that we have a balanced budget.
Any more discussion?
One other thing, this is also when we get our audit in from the auditor, within the management discussion and analysis, the MD&A, there's a section in there where this is all laid out in there also. So it's basically in 2 places that way.
I move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by LaDon Allen, second by Holly Levine, put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Clerk, please read the title.
An ordinance amending the PD, Waterworks, WWTP, GEO bond, and capital improvement funds for the fiscal year 2023.
Any further discussion?
I move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by LaDon Allen, second by Rick Flynn, to put this ordinance on final passage. This is a handbook to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent, please vote electronically. 6 in the affirmative with 2 absent. The Ordinance passes, and that's ordinance.
2320.
Thank you. Next is an ordinance amending chapter 233, Senior Citizens Committee.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by Holly Levine, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Carl Junction, Missouri by amending Title II, Public Health, Safety, and Welfare by repealing Chapter 233, Senior Citizen Committee to eliminate the advisory committee created to assist the Board of Alderman concerning the development and maintenance needs of the senior citizen facility.
Discussion. Steve?
2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a joint meeting, Public Facilities and the Senior Committee. It is on their recommendation. They recommended that we do away with that. It had some items in there that we've never been able to comply with, and they knew that, so they wanted the whole title taken out.
Any further discussion? Yeah.
Who's on the senior citizen committee?
Right now, it consists of Richard Garrett, Jason Wright, and Bob
Bob.
McAfee.
You're saying that 3 of them all decided to get rid of this committee?
The 3 of them, plus there was a couple members from the facilities committee there. On that.
Yeah, you were there.
I actually wasn't there when we.
Oh, you weren't doing it?
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
And I was gonna try and get a hold of Richard before we had his meeting, but I wasn't able to, so.
yeah. He kind of ran both meetings and he was favored disbanding because we can't meet two. We're not meeting what's in the code anyway. In the code book.
And, as far as, the development and maintenance of just that senior citizens facility, it falls under this roof, and if they have a problem with something over there, structure, walls, floor, the cooler, whatever, they just come tell me and we take care of it.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer, to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Carl Junction, Missouri by amending Title II, Public Health, Safety, and Welfare by repealing Chapter 233, Senior Citizen Committee to eliminate the advisory committee created to assist the Board of Alderman concerning the development and maintenance needs of the senior citizen facility.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Bob McAfee, to put this ordinance on final passage. This is the handbook to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative, 2 absent. Please vote electronically. 6 in the affirmative, 2 absent, and there's ordinance number.
2321.
Thank you. Next is an ordinance amending chapter 125 personnel policy.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending Title I, Government Code, Chapter 125, Personnel Policy by repealing Section 125.280, Political Activity.
Discussion? Already had a little bit of it, I believe.
I move we put this ordinance on final passage,
Now we get
or second reading by title only.
Second.
motion by Holly Levine, second by Don Allen, to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending Title I, Government Code, Chapter 125, Personnel Policy by repealing Section 125.280, Political Activity.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer, to put this ordinance on final passage. This is a handbook to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative, 2 absent, please vote electronically. 6 in favor with 2 absent. That is ordinance number.
2322.
Thank you. Moving right along, next is the administration report.
You did not have an administration report because I've got so much to cover under old business and new business, that that's where I put it.
Very good.
It's gonna be a long meeting tonight.
Then we'll move on to treasurer's report. Anybody want to comment on the treasurer's report? No comments on the treasurer's report? Very well, then. We'll go to department reports. First is a building inspector's report. Any comments for the building inspector's report?
Been busy.
You. Okay, then next we go to committee reports. Budget and finance, Ladonna.
A couple things. We noticed that we have basically a typo. We did not adjust the top end of the police salaries when we adopted the salaries last time. We already have 2 officers that have went above that. So next meeting, we'll have to put a line item on the agenda to amend those. Excuse me. Also, I just wanted to share some good news from the budget committee because we usually don't get to share good news. We have checked now that we are coming up on the end of our fiscal year, and we made a decision towards the end of last year, if you remember, to have the county collect our property taxes. And we were optimistic at that time that it would raise the collection rate. Well, as of this month, as of now, we've already collected $873,314, which if you apply our levy to the assessment values, that shows even after paying them, we have already got 96% of our collection. Yeah, so that was definitely a good move. And not only on the collection percentage, but I have heard from a lot of residents that appreciate the fact that they just get one tax statement and they can pay it all and they don't have to try to get it. So I was very happy about that. I think the most we were looking at, even on real property, was maybe 95, 96, and we were into the 80s and tanking on personal property. So that's very good news.
Very good. Anything else for Ladonna? Then we'll go on to code and nuisance. Rick?
Nothing at this time, sir.
Very good. Human resources, Roger.
Yes, we had a meeting with the chief of police and the city administrator in reference to the staffing at the police department. No votes were taken or anything, just
Okay.
talking about it.
All right.
Oh, we did, for the scanner, or the Wi-Fi things.
Oh, yeah, what do they call
Data terminal.
Hotspot things.
Oh, yeah, well, we have
them? The deal for the,
MDTs, yeah, and we have more information on that we'll talk about a little bit.
okay,
All right.
thank you, Holly.
Public facilities, Mike?
I have a few things that are laid in front of me here, and I don't know if we need to have a meeting to discuss some of the stuff. It seems like maybe some of it, especially the fencing around the splash pad, is kind of time sensitive. Probably need to get that taken care of soon. So is this something you vote on by next meeting?
Get all
Probably.
that and we're gonna cover that in little business.
Yeah, I was gonna cover no business.
Okay.
I did not put it in front of facilities committee because we talked about it so much, and it is time sensitive, so,
Yes, that's
because they're gonna fire it up tomorrow.
Okay, we'll talk about it in old business. And, some of this
Yeah,
other
so
stuff,
that's
we have, quite a few things that we're still kind of.
Yeah,
working
so
on.
it says
Yeah.
old business on the.
So maybe we have new committee assignments later coming up. Is that?
Yep.
So maybe a public facilities committee meeting soon, but maybe we'll wait until after we see the committee assignments and determine if we have meetings or not.
Oh, you'll have it.
That's what you heard.
Anyway, that's all I have then. We'll
Okay.
talk more about that.
Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to unfinished business. Holly,
No, sir.
Bob, Rick,
Yes, sir.
Roger?
Nothing.
I have nothing. Donna?
I just have one thing because I've seen it going around on social media a lot and I know we've been addressing it. Do we have any idea, I did not look when I came in, on the situation with the flagpoles? Have you heard anything back on the work order? Because,
We got, these are fixed now.
okay,
I've still got 2 flags needed to put up on it. And one over at the PD broke now. So I've got 2 broke over at the PD and I'm waiting on parts to come in on those 2. The ones down at the entrance garden have been fixed. And I should have the parts probably, I hope tomorrow or the day after.
thank you. I just was hoping that would address some of the,
There's a reason that you don't, because the American flagpole is one that was broken out here. Out of respect, you don't fly the other flags if the American flag is not up there with it. It's in a cluster like that. So that's why none of them were up for quite a while. The guy that came and fixed it, he put the American flag up, and then I noticed today that he didn't put the other 2 up, so we'll get it done tomorrow.
thank you. Hopefully that will address some misconceptions.
Ballpark lighting, we approved that. Did we get the lights in?
Not yet. It was a 4-week lead time.
And then they had 30 days or something was the contract after we get the
Yes.
lights in?
Yes.
Okay.
And they've already checked with me, because I've told them the same thing, and they've checked with me twice. You got the lights?
Well, I
You got
talked
the
to
lights?"
Cody Fisher today, just a minute ago, so
Yeah.
he was asking me.
Anything
That's
else?
all.
Okay. Lana?
Yes, sir.
Crystal?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Received a letter, when did we receive this? A couple days ago from FEMA, letting us know that the last of the FEMA reimbursement for the tornado damages from 2019, we'll be seeing it very soon. So $143,299.85.
Good.
The project's closed out.
Yes.
And it only took 4
Only took
years.
4 years.
Yes,
Jeez. That it?
sir.
Should I skip Steve? Do you have old business?
Did you?
I have old business. First one up you have laying on your desk, I'll grab it, is the community center rental fees. This is also in response to the senior committee meeting that we had. You have a list there of the old and new. You do have one typo on there. That is down there on the new expanded dining. That cleaning deposit should be $50, just like the other 3 are above it. As you can see, there was a slight raise in the hourly rate. And since I've typed this out for you, Elena and I have had another conversation that we really need to do away with that application fee. It's terribly hard to explain what it is, and we probably just need to roll that fee just into the hourly rate. It would just be a lot easier and a lot cleaner to do it that way. And on the second page is the one for the non-residents, non-citizen. A slight raise in those 2, and I would suggest that we do the same thing on it. We do away with that application fee and just roll it into the hourly. Just discussion at this time. If you want to do something different, it's a good time to talk about it.
Is there a reason we even need to roll it in? If we're doing a slight increase, can we just drop the application fee off?
It's up to you guys. You betcha that could happen.
The increase doesn't cover it.
Mike, sorry.
Do you have any idea of the percentages of citizens versus non-citizens that are running? We have the 2 categories, 2 different price structures. Have we just ballpark, any idea?
I think significantly more citizens than non-citizens.
And if we felt like we needed to raise fees to pay for our expenses, I guess I'd rather see a little bit more of a differentiation between the citizens and non-citizens. Some of these are $70 an hour versus $80 an hour. I think that if we were going to try to recoup some of our fees, that maybe we do those from the non-citizens.
We do that because our citizens have a levy that they pay on this.
Exactly. So I'd like to see maybe a little bit more separation there. But And I'm with Lon as well, that if you can roll the fees together to make it more straightforward, might as well do that.
Yeah, and like I said, the 15, if we've got the hourly rate, if the 15 was like processing, like we had to send something to the PD for a background or, something.
We could, for the, pretty simple to do, we could take the citizen side of it, do away with the application fee, and on the non-citizen side, we could just roll that application fee into the hourly fee and take care of both of them.
Or you can just double their price and do away with the application fee.
Yeah,
Double what the citizen has.
Yeah, that, I think that would be better because our citizens are paying tax money that goes towards salaries and goes towards utilities and
Yep.
building and everything. It's only fair.
That's what I think. That would be my suggestion.
drop the application fee on both of them and then just double the price on the,
Double the price for the hourly rate.
that makes sense. So look, you guys, if you want me to do that, I can.
What do we need? Need a motion?
Yeah, let's do that with a motion.
Okay.
And then I'll draw up all the paperwork and we won't have to have an ordinance or
Yeah.
anything. I just instituted it off of your motion.
Okay.
One more question real quick.
Yeah, Mike.
With the deposit, of course, it is a deposit that they get back after inspection.
Mhm.
And we did anything to change what that inspection looks like, or did the committee that I wasn't able to be there last time, did they talk about that?
We did talk about that. The only suggestion that they had was to make sure that we had the warming kitchen on there also.
Okay.
And within the application itself, we made it very plain in there that the large kitchen, the commercial kitchen, is not to be used. It is not available for rent or not to be used.
Yeah, hold on.
As the warming kitchen, it needs to be usable if we're going to have people inspect, because
Yeah.
I used it, you can't use it. I mean, you couldn't even get anything in the refrigerator to stay cold until like we placed stuff out. It was completely full. So if that's gonna be part of the
We need
check
to
off.
get the refrigerator looked at. Is it not cooling enough?
No, it was full.
Oh, okay.
Like completely full. So I understand they use it as a, break room also of an evening and everything. So I understand having stuff in it. But
If we're charging rent on it.
if you're going to use it with the warming kitchen, you can't really,
Okay.
you can't use it that much. So.
So I guess my question was, at that meeting there, they talked about, the people that rented it didn't even sign the sheet about being checked off, or the city employee or whoever was working, signed it, said it was good to go, but it wasn't apparently. So what are we doing about, is there training for whoever's working the desk, or making sure that?
Training's a good word. They know that that's not supposed to happen now.
Okay.
Instruction.
Yeah, because they shouldn't, if they don't have it signed off, then they can't get the deposit back.
Correct.
And you guys got the deposit in the office, right?
Yeah, if I don't get a checklist back showing that it was clean and that an employee signed off on it, then I don't refund the budget.
Okay, anything else on that? Community center rental fees. Next.
I guess, sorry, can I revisit that one last thing? So, we upped the fees, and I think, this all kind of stemmed from the issue we had with the cleaning. So are we raising these fees because the fees need raised to cover our expenses, or are we raising the fees to try to keep people more accountable? If that's the case, I think raising the cleaning deposit would be the way to go. Or do we need to raise these fees because we are operating at a loss here when we rent these out? Or
The fees did need to be raised to begin with. The cleaning deposit, I also, I doubled it on here to make them more accountable.
I was just making sure that we weren't just raising the fees arbitrarily, that this is well needed. Okay.
So I think one thing that was brought up in the meeting was people will just not clean, thinking, oh, it's only $20, whatever. So,
Yeah, we got contractors that walk away from $150 of the deposit they have to make. They don't care. They made more money than maybe do we need to raise that one too? I don't know, but that was exactly the thinking behind this is that people are less likely to walk away from a $50 bill than they are a $20.
Well, we'll be able, with the new fees, we can find out if people are gonna do that or not.
Yep.
If they're gonna walk away and they start doing it, we should know that, and then we can adjust them. We can adjust them again. Anything else? Steve?
No, sir, on that one, that one's done.
Did we move?
Do we need?
Just a motion to
Make a
implement
motion that we,
implement the new fee
do that.
structure for the
As,
community center.
as
correct.
discussed. Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Don Allen to implement the new fee structure as addressed. All those in favor, please signify by the right hand. 16 affirmative, 2 absent. You'll show us the new fee structure next meeting, I assume. Thank you.
The next one is one of the memo that was titled Old Business. And like Mike said earlier, the only one that's really time sensitive is the fencing around the splash pad. That's also the one that we know where that money's gonna come from, and that's coming from the ARPA money. So that's really the only one that I want to discuss. The others, it's no problem putting those off to the next meeting or until after we have a public facilities meeting also, which is, I would like to do. So we did get the 3 bids, Miller Fence, M&W Fence, and Nelson Enterprises. Both of them bid both 6-foot black fence. Miller did not bid a 4-foot fence. And as you can see, the 4-foot fence is considerably cheaper than the 6-foot. The 6-foot, we had a 6-foot around the pool, but that's more important for safety than what this is. There's no standing water in it, so you're not gonna have somebody get over the fence and drown. So we're thinking more on the aesthetic side of it, where a 4-foot fence would just look better in a neighborhood than a 6-foot fence. And it is the black PVC coated material, posts and chain link. So my recommendation is that we go with Nelson Enterprises for the 4-foot, which is $15,780.
Discussion?
I think we definitely need a fence around the splash pad, seeing how close it is to the road especially.
Yep.
So, I have no question we need a fence. I guess the only discussion is if the 6 or 4. 4 seems reasonable.
They okay with that?
So we need a motion. I move that we approve the bid for Nelson Company
For a 4-foot
for a
fence?
4-foot fence.
Second.
He beat you this time, huh? Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer, that we approve the Nelson bid for the 4-foot fence around the.
Time out, sorry.
Yeah.
Were there any difference between these 3 companies about when the timetable for completion would be?
Nelson was the quickest. He can actually jump on it right away as soon as he gets product in. M&W and Miller are going to have to order stuff, and because of their schedule, they were both going to be out, 2 to 4 weeks.
Sorry.
Okay. We had a motion and a second to use Nelson with the 4-foot fence. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative, 2 absent. You have the permission to order the 4-foot fence from Nelson.
That's it.
No public works roof coating or anything?
No, we'll go into the Public Facilities Committee on that.
Okay.
Because those others, actually, everything listed the other, we got to look and see where we've got funding for it.
Okay, good. Well, I was very remiss on the committee reports since or the department reports, as I left out the police department and the public works. So since this is old business, first we'll go to public works. Well, I had a sheet there, since this is old business. Or unfinished business. Any comments for Jay about the public works report? You like to say anything, Jay?
No, sir.
All righty. Very well, then, we also have the police department report, which says we got any radios in. Anything for Mark? Mark, what do you have something like to say?
The only thing with the new radios is I had school resource officer Conway go through all the schools transmitting to see how it would work. There is a problem with reception and transmission when you're inside the high school administrative offices. I have contacted Brian Harper with En-route to address that. Normally it would be addressed with a repeater in a car. However, that drains batteries when the car's on the parking lot, and ultimately we have problems with that when the batteries go weak. So they shut off when the car shut off, therefore you can't operate that repeater. He is checking on getting another type of repeater to install within the high school itself. They are currently in testing for a wireless system that operates on antennas that they're getting ready to roll out in Nixon, I believe it is. However, there has not been any testing done on that, so it's really not available yet. So we may wind up going to have to do a repeater anyway, which is a more expensive route, but we have to have something to be able to cover the schools.
Yep. Anything else for PD? And we'll go on with unfinished business. Any unfinished business? Mark?
Nope.
How about you, Jay?
No, sir.
Okay, now we can go on to the certified election results. We have the election results in front of us here, and we need to vote to accept them if we agree with them.
I move we certify the results of the April election
As presented by the Jasper County Clerk's Office.
as presented by Jasper County Clerk Charlie Day.
All right.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by Roger Spencer, that we accept the certified results of the April 4th election. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 6 in the affirmative, with 2 absent. The election results are approved. Certified. Okay, next is signing die, which is out with the old and with the new. So if Mr. Satterley and Mr. Gozy would step, oh, they're gone. So they're down. So now we will swear in the newly elected officers. Elena.
Yes, sir.
So when she calls your name, if you're not up here at the front, please come up here to the front.
Holly, if you would stand, raise your right hand and read your oath of office.
I, Holly Levine, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for office of Alderman Ward 1 as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of City of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
Thank you. And Bill McGuire. Raise your right hand, please.
I, Bill McGuire, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of Alderman Ward 1 as prescribed by law, and I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the City of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God.
Welcome, Bill. Why don't you have a seat beside Mike over here?
I'll be there.
I, Rick Flynn, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of Alderman, Ward 2, as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
Typical Navy, had to sit down and sign.
It's not pressure.
David Bile?
I, David Bile, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of Alderman, Ward 3, as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
Welcome, David. You sit next to Bill.
Our side is full.
And thoughts?
Me. Okay, can't read it, so I'm gonna shove it. I, LaDonna Allen, do solemnly swear that I possess all qualifications for the office of Alderman, Ward 4, as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, and the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God.
Memorize that.
It's easier to recite than read at my age. Right here. Thank you. Told you it's easier. All righty. Sign the life away again.
Hands down.
We done?
Oh, you.
I, Mark Bowers, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of mayor prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office, so help me God. Thank you. I'll give my little thing to our two new aldermen. We have discussion on ordinances and stuff like that. If you don't agree with something, I would really want you to tell us why you don't agree with it, kind of like you did today. So that, we've had in the past where nobody will say anything that goes against something. And you may be right. If you're against it, you may convince the rest of us, or these other people, that you're right and they're something they hadn't thought about. So before you vote against something like that, please give us your reason. All righty? Well, let's see. I guess next week now we go to, committee reports. I'll plug you that first, right?
Very good.
Committee assignments.
You can do committee assignments, or you can do that under new business.
I do committee assignments now.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't changed committee assignments much, except what I did was, we only have 4 committees now, and I put 1 alderman from each ward on each one of the committees, so that every ward has a say in what's going on there. And budget and finance, I've got LaDonna Allen as chair, L.A. Devine, Rick Flynn, and Bob McAfee on the budget committee. Code and nuisance, I have Rick Flynn as chair, with Bob McAfee, Bill McGuire, and Roger Spencer. On human resources, I have Roger Spencer as chair, David Pyle, Mike Burns, and Bill McGuire. On public facilities and planning, Mike Burns as chair, L.A. Levine, LaDonna Allen, and David Pyle. And I've got copies here for somewhere around here. Actually, I don't have them. Steve made it for me. You can't read that.
I can't. I know where I'm supposed to be.
Thank you.
when it's time.
Just so
to
you know where you're going, what committees you're on. Because I have to have the cheat sheet in front of me. Okay, next is new business. David.
You need to elect mayor pro tem.
Oh, God. Okay, that's right. I don't know, oh, it is on here, isn't it? Guess I got criticized it now. Well, I got a floater in my left eye.
It's blind like
That's right, I'm getting blind. Okay. Are there any nominations for mayor pro tem?
Mr. Mayor, I nominate Mike Burns.
I nominate LaDonna Allen.
Are there any other nominations? Very well, then.
Make a motion that all nominations stop.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Rick Flynn, that all nominations cease. So now we will vote. All those in favor of Mike Burns, signify by raising your right hand. 3. And those in favor of Donna Allen, raise your right hand. 4. And one abstain, one abstain. Okay, that means that LaDonna, you are mayor pro tem. Now we can go to new business, right? But did I miss anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, good. David?
Not new business per se, but if we could have some discussion at the next meeting in regard to the city comprehensive plan in general, and specifically the Parks and Recreation section and the objective that relates to the proposed future relocation of the ball fields at Frank Dean. I'd like to revisit that and see what our long-term strategic plan is there.
Yeah. It's all based on dollars.
Right.
Yeah, Mike.
I was gonna say that, Mr. Powell, you're on the Public Facilities Planning Committee, and so,
Yeah.
we talked about maybe having a Public Facilities Planning Committee meeting soon, and so I think that's something we will include on the agenda for the Public Facilities Committee.
You want to have it between now and next meeting?
Yes, please.
Uh,
I'm
Mike's
available in the
usually
afternoons,
available after 3:30. Are you too? Okay,
not Mondays or Wednesdays.
not Mondays or Wednesdays.
Gee, it must be soccer days.
I'm not available till 5.
She's not available till 5. Okay.
Sometime right at 5 then, if we can, maybe
Pick a day.
next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday at 5? Okay.
Anything else, David?
No, sir.
Bill, any new business? Okay. No, sir. Mike?
No, sir.
LaDonna?
No new business.
Oh, I just got one thing I want to discuss, which this needs to go, probably in facilities in your meeting too. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I'm scared to death on Saturdays when we have soccer out at the soccer fields over in Ward 3. I was pulling the golf cart out of the driveway to go play golf Saturday morning, and an ambulance came rushing down Briarbrook Drive, and I was scared to death. I just had a kid run over. But fortunately for the kids, no kid was run over. Somebody on Briarbrook Lane that needed an ambulance. What I think we need to do is like City of Joplin has the signs for the school zones. They have the flashing yellow light that's on when it's on. You've got that speed. And I would suggest that right as you come into Briarbrook from the south, we have one there when soccer's on, that we have a way to turn it on so that thing's flashing. That's a 20-mile-per-hour speed zone in there. We'll have to have permission from our traffic engineer, and that's Jay. So you need to probably get with him. And then have it maybe all the way down to where the first parlay entrance is there. So you've got basically that whole area covered for 20 miles per hour. Because I tell you what, it's crowded. You know, you're there. You know what it's like, and it's going to kill me if we have some child run over or hurt or in an accident there. And I think I just think it's necessary. So you guys, if you guys could talk about that in your meeting, I would appreciate it. That's just
And this week is
what?
rummage sale too, so that'll really
early.
Yeah, rummage sale, yeah, I know. So, yeah, but we don't have a sign yet, so we can't do anything yet. But yeah, we need to, that's just all I have to do business against right now.
Nothing.
Nothing, Roger. Rick?
Just need to touch on that. Do we have one of those speed limit, like
Yeah.
that radar?
Yeah,
Yeah, we do.
Can we park that out there this weekend? Just,
Well, the only thing that's gonna do to us, well, yeah, we
Every time I
can put
see it, I
20
slow
mile
down.
an hour on it, because it flashes when you go over the 20. Except when you get really fast and then it just shuts off. But, and then we'll get a record of it too. We'll have because it records all the speeds, we'll have a record of it too.
I don't know that we can change it to 20 right now, can we? Without signage.
No, not without signage.
So you can record how fast they're going through there. But if you have the speed
But
limit
even
out
that
there,
being
if
there.
they're going over 30, and they see that,
Yeah.
then maybe
Yeah.
it'll slow them down.
Okay.
That's up to the police
Yeah.
department, right?
Can you take care of that, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to run by it too every now and then just to see.
Does
don't
not
even
compute.
I tried it on my golf court, but it doesn't register. Bob?
I'm not.
Holly?
I was just gonna say, in addition to that, we might consider expanding the parking in the one area where the pavilion's gonna go, because people park all over the rest anyway.
Yeah, we talked about that.
There's another thing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meeting's already full. We need.
You may have to start at 4:30.
We need parking.
That's all for me, thank you.
Thank you. Plan.
Yes, sir. Two things. The first, I gave everyone a handout from the elected officials training that will be in June. Thank you. Any of you that would like to go, please let me know and I will get you registered. It's in Columbia this year. I think it had a list on there of everything they'll be talking about. So if you want to go at all, please let me know for that and I will get you registered. The second thing is with MML now, we actually register our elected officials. They have contact information for everyone so that they can send out information that they think aldermen need. They do not like it when we reuse email addresses. It causes a very large problem for their system. I ran into that because they asked for when we updated elections and I had to put David and Bill on there, and it does not like that their email addresses are the same as Mark and Jim's were. So Steve and I talked today about putting you all on what we have everybody else in the city rather than just CJ Alderman, Ward 1A, Ward 1B, just, L. Allen at carljunction.org, M. Burns at carljunction.org. That way, anytime we have a new alderman, there's a new email address and we don't run into trouble with the MML system. And that also would help you all because, you could go on there and look at stuff. I know Rick has gone on and done webinars for the NGI classes. It doesn't get their system confused. So if you all don't have a problem with that, we would like to get with Scott and let him know to switch you all over to just first initial last name at carljunction.org rather than the generic email addresses.
Okay, if they're gonna do that, they need to give him the password.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And you probably have to use Outlook.
Yeah, it would be a Microsoft address, just
Yeah.
like all the rest of
Yeah.
them.
Good idea. How about me? I gotta do it too.
You know what? I'll leave that up to you.
I can stay the same. That's fine with me. Okay. That it?
That's it.
Okay, new business. Nothing, Crystal?
No, sir.
Steve?
Yes, sir. A couple of things. Jay brought it to my attention. We've got a problem with brush rotor at the wastewater treatment plant in the aeration, the ditches. We got a quote from G&G, who knows everything about our plant. It is $38,500 to remove and install a new rotor the rotor itself is $147,000. Or we do 2 rotors, which is the suggested way to do it, and then the rotors cost $245,000. We do have that money in reserves. That's why we have such a large reserve in wastewater, is to handle things like this when it comes up. What could happen, and especially this time of year coming up with all the rain, where we have all 3 of the oxidation ditches going, if something happens, you kill all the bugs in it, then you got a real problem, because then you're out of compliance on your flows, whether it's the BODs or whatever it is. You know, you're out of compliance with DNR then. And it limits our capacity by not having it repaired.
Well, we gotta fix it. What do you wanna do, Jay?
It's not an emergency right now, but it needs to be fixed. It's something that's broke.
What about 1 or 2?
We don't have any other vent shafts, but we could always store it somewhere. The plan is 1987. Those 1987 rotors.
What do you think?
I think we ought to get the 2.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion. And like Jay said, we could store it, and they are 40 years old, almost 40 years old. So it's going to happen to another one. We know it will.
We definitely don't wanna go out of compliance, I can tell you that.
Well, we do not want to go out of compliance. Not with DNR, that's
No.
for sure.
What was the price on the single?
147,000, and then 245,000. On a side note, if you two want to get together sometime and go through the plan, we'll get Harvey to give you a tour on it. It's pretty interesting.
Since this is not an emergency, should we put it on the agenda for next time to give people time for consideration?
Yes.
It's fine, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Okay. Put it on the agenda for next time, Elaine.
okay.
We said it needs repaired, but then we're just talking about complete replacement. There's no repair other than just
Right,
replacement.
it is just a replacement.
You went down through the facility with me, didn't you?
Second item I have, and this is being forced on us also. We originally had plans for the Lakeside Park playground with an existing design and everything. The state will not use that, and we have to go out for bid for that. And so we have to develop a design for it. And it's more money, of course, so we'd have to sign an amendment to the Bartlett and West agreement that we already have. And it will cost us $13,030 to have the design done for the playground portion. That also includes, in the scope of work, you get the schematic design, you get the development of the design, they do the construction documents, they do the construction administration. So they roll all of that into one so that when we do go out for bid, we've got a packet ready to go.
It's a racket.
And that, we
Yeah,
don't.
Mike?
Well, may I ask you just to clarify a little bit more, because I know when we approved that initial $45,000 contract, that included the pavilion and playground design.
It
So-
did not include the playground design. That's the one that we took out of there. Remember, the first bid was at $90-some thousand or whatever it was. We took that playground design out of there to be able to get the price down. And because because we had an existing design that we could use from a manufacturer. And they won't let us do that. That's sole source contracting, basically, and they won't let us do it that way.
Elaine, do you mind sending me that? I don't have it right in front of me, but the contract that we did months ago with them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
And it's another one of those things, food for thought, because we'll have to do an ordinance on it. We'll bring it back up.
Will they let us put that into the grand mount? Like add the 1,000?
We'll have to ask them.
It's either gonna be grant or ARP.
Be
One or
nice
the
if
other.
be nice if we could just at least have a match. We just had half of it.
Yeah, if it's a match, you get 50% of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be better than zero.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Any new business, Mark? Jay? Is there any other business before the council?
I move we adjourn.
Motion by Don Allen, so Rick Flynn, that we adjourn. Those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, with everybody present. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Thank you all for attending. It's nice to have people in the stand.
Not a home run here.